Hey guys, good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Amber. I'm here from Global Munchkins. I'm a travel writer and I'm excited to share with you every Tuesday my family travel chat Tuesdays where I answer your questions and give you tips and advice on family travel. So today we are going to be talking about, if you haven't already guessed, we are going to be talking about Disney. We're going to talk about, which is better to book. Would you like to book a Disney cruise or a Disney World? Kind of what the differences are and which is better. And I'm also going to show you the different ways that I save on both. So I know how to save money on Disney World and I know how to save money on Disney cruises, and I'm going to share that with you today. And then we're going to wrap it up with some phenomenal deals that I've found all over the web. So I guess we might as well get right into it. The funny thing about Disney travel is I would not call myself, I know I'm sitting here wearing all this Disney stuff, that's because we're talking about Disney today. I wouldn't call myself a huge Disney fanatic. The reason that we traveled with Disney was not because of the mouse. We travel with Disney because there's expectations that we have that Disney does a very good job as far as families and travel. As far as that goes, it was a very easy thing to do initially when we had young kids. Disney kind of has cookie cutter packages, which were easy for us to book. I knew that it was going to be family friendly. I knew that, if we had any allergies, those would be, taken care of. I knew the level of service I was going to receive doing a Disney vacation. And so those are the reasons why initially we started traveling with Disney. It wasn't just because we were Disney crazy people. I don't think you have to be Disney crazy to enjoy a Disney vacation. I think that they do a phenomenal job regardless. We've done, I think, over 20 trips to Disney World. We've just booked our 6th Disney cruise. We've done Disney Paris. We've done quite a few trips to Disney Zolani. And we live an hour from Disneyland. So we're definitely in these parks and traveling with Disney quite often. So to get kind of back to what we're talking about today, we're going to talk about the difference between the Disney cruise and Disney World, which is better and why, and how to save on both. And then we're going to also talk about the different travel deals that are going on the web right now. So kind of diving right into it, what's the main difference between a Disney World vacation and a Disney cruise vacation? And I'm going to say it's one thing, it's pace. So Disney World is going to be, thrilling, exhilarating. You're gonna have 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, resorts. You've got Disney Springs, which has like movies and bowling and shops and restaurants. Disney World is huge, guys, like very, very huge. So there's a lot of ground to cover, which means the walkability factor is a little bit difficult. A Disney vacation, a Disney World vacation means you're gonna come back to that room and your feet at the end of the day, they're sore. They're like swollen and sore because there's so much to do. The other side of that clearly is, it's fun to do a Disney World vacation, but when we're talking about the differences between Disney World and a Disney cruise, it's definitely pace. If you're going to do Disney World, it's going to be fast paced. There's going to be a lot of ground to cover. And a Disney cruise is going to be a little bit more relaxing, or a lot more relaxing. Both still fantastic vacations, but I think that would be, the biggest difference between the two. The other difference that's big to me is childcare. So Walt Disney World, all the resorts do have kids clubs. They have babysitting services for little ones. However, it's not wrapped into the price, so you're going to be paying. It's not cheap at all. I want to say it's about $20, $25 an hour. I have one time used a babysitting service that's outside of Disney called Sitters in a Second. They work out of Orlando. They were fantastic. They came to the room and babysat Olivia for us on our last trip. But other than that one time, that's the only time we've ever used a kids club at Disney World. I think at Disney World, you want your kids with you. You're going on the rides, you're doing the parades, you're seeing the shows, and you want the kids with you. So I think that's a huge difference. The cruise, however, the childcare is wrapped into that cost. So if you have a child that is 3 and potty trained up to like 17, because there's 2 teen clubs on board, they're going to be occupied. It's included. You're not paying. And that gives you some alone time with your spouse, which honestly, family, travel doesn't usually have something like that built in. So I love the childcare on board Disney Cruise. I love it because, like I said, it's included. If you do have infants or kids up to 3 that are not potty trained, there is a nursery there as well. It's like $9 an hour when we checked Olivia in it last time. So you do have that option if they're not potty trained in 3. But my kids beg to be in the kids club. They want to be there because there's phenomenal activities going on. My kids love doing like the Stitches Space Goo. They love playing video games in there. They have special character events. I know like the Goofy's sleepover. They do like a pillow fight there. My kids absolutely love that. So it's really nice to be on a cruise and be able to have your kids begging to be checked into a kids club so you and your husband can go hit up the adults only area. Now Disney Cruise does not do casinos, so that's different than some other cruise lines, but they do have adults only areas. So there's like comedy clubs, there's like dueling pianos, there is, pools, bars, so there's tons of stuff for you to do with your spouse. In the adults only area or just around the ship in general without your kids. Another thing that I like about the Disney's childcare is if you have the late dining, they actually will come and pick up the kids. Like, they feed the kids kind of early, get them all their food out of the way, their dessert, and then your entree is about coming, and the Disney Kids Club people come in and they pick up your kids and whisk them away so that you can have the rest of your night be really mellow and have this really nice relaxing evening with your spouse, which I know I love. So we've talked about differences between Disney World and Disney Cruise, and right now I'm saying that the pace at Disney World is much faster. It's a little bit more relaxing to be on the cruise, and then because childcare is built in, you do also get that alone time, which is more difficult and more expensive at Disney World. The other thing is activities. So like I said, Disney World has 4 full theme parks. There are more rides than you will ever be able to do in one trip. There are, tons of character meet and greets. There's shows, there's parades. There is a ton of activities. Besides the activities inside the parks, you also have your resorts, and they have, fantastic pools and slides, and they've got their own activities going on, like outdoor, movie theaters or yoga or whatever it is that you want to do. So there's so many activities at Walt Disney World compared to the cruise, which does have activities, but you're limited to, what they have on board and then your port excursions. So if you really are looking, for nonstop action, Walt Disney World is going to have that for you. And the cruise is going to have a lot of activities, but not quite as many, not nearly as many. It's not like they have a roller coaster on board. I wish they did. That'd be kind of awesome. But that's kind of the difference as far as activities go. The other thing is the activities on the Disney World side, you need to plan and have a schedule because there's so much to do and you want to make sure you fit in all those things you really want to do. You have to be kind of on top of that, where on the cruise ship, you get a navigator every night, like the night before the next day. So you're able to plan out your day. So that, okay, this is what's on the boat. We usually have a highlighter and we kind of highlight, the activities that the kids want to do. And it's much easier. So it's kind of just an easier way as far as activities go. Next up would be dining. So, both obviously have fantastic dining. Your options are pretty limitless. When you go to Walt Disney World, you have everything from casual to upscale, crazy, unique dining experiences when you're dining at Walt Disney World. The difference is, of course, in cost. Now, they have 3 different packages. I think it's 3 for the dining plans at Walt Disney World. They're definitely worth getting if you are a foodie and want to be eating at these nicer places, because the cost at these restaurants going individually, it will add up. It'll really cost you a pretty penny. So definitely check into the dining plans. When our kids were younger, we did the standard plans because we don't drink a ton of wine, so we didn't need the package that included that. But we did go to quite a few character meals, and so for that and for some of like the upscale dining that we wanted to try, it made sense to buy the standard package. As our kids have gotten older, our 4 older kids are between the ages of 9 and 14. They don't want to sit during those dinners when we're at Walt Disney World anymore, so we've switched and we now do just the counter service dining plan, quick service dining plan, because the kids just want to kind of eat and go and get on as many rides as they can. That's kind of their angle. Then as far as the cruise ship goes, you still do have fantastic restaurants on board. The food is very good. The things that are special is they have some really amazing restaurants. Animator's Palette is, a ton of fun. It's kind of its own entertainment at that restaurant on its own. They do character on some of the ships. I don't think all of them do. I think the 4 days might cut that out, but there are some character dining on some of the Disney ships as well. But everything's included and wrapped in that price. So it's really nice because you kind of pay it all up front and then don't have to worry about it unless you're booking the adult only restaurants on board, which have a small entrance fee to go to those. But otherwise, everything's done. And unlike so many other cruise lines, soda's actually included on the Disney cruise, which is totally different. So what I like about the Disney cruise, is that I don't have to say no. That if they want to try 2 different entrees because they can't decide, which one they want, that's fine. If they want to order, lobster that night that they have lobster, I don't have to say no. Which in a family with 5 kids, my kids don't get to do, they're not treated to that type of a luxury that often. So the cruise is fun for that reason. The other reason is because it's all you can eat. That's very different. Obviously, when you have 3 boys hitting into their teenage years, they're like bottomless pits. And so being able to feed them and actually have them be full is pretty cool. Plus it's nice, Livy would grab like an ice cream cone, every day after we did the pool. And those little like luxuries I feel like are really fun on the Disney cruise. Disney also includes your lunch when you're at Castaway Cay, which is their private island. So that's also another bonus. And something else just different between Disney Cruise Line, because we've cruised with Norwegian, Royal, and Carnival. And Princess. So something unique to Disney is that you rotate your dining rooms, which is really cool because it's kind of different experiences as you go. Kind of changes things up so it's not so boring. But the neat thing is your wait staff rotates with you. So your waiters don't change. And that's really awesome because they get to know the kids. They're doing like magic tricks at the table to try and keep their entertainment levels. And, they know what drinks your kids want, so you come to sit down and like everything's already ready for you. My daughter, Ella, when she was little, I remember she loved broccoli, and they would have like her bowl of broccoli sitting on the table before we ever came down, and all their drinks, like I said. And it was really neat that that they rotate with you, and I miss that every time we're on another cruise, and we just get the dinners. I don't know, like Norwegian has freestyle dining. Which is really great food, but it's like so not personal that I miss that. So Disney does that very well. So both Walt Disney World and Disney Cruise, you're going to have fantastic food options. I do recommend getting a dining package if you're going to Disney World, so costs don't add up. Like we talked about, I think that the standing dining plan is fantastic if you want some of the nicer sit-down dinners, or you're going to be doing character dining. Otherwise, if you have older kids like we are now, we've kind of phased out of that and we do more quick service dining because the kids just want to, hit up all the best, they want to grab the quick pizza at Disney Springs and then be done. They want to go back onto the rides. As far as planning and booking your Disney vacations, Disney makes it incredibly easy. I mean, it is way different than trying to figure out, this Europe vacation you want, or, traveling into Mexico or whatever. Disney's like cookie cutter. They have different packages. You know what you're going to be paying per day. Like I said, they have like the dining packages that you can build into your Walt Disney World. And then of course the cruise ship is all laid out for you as well. When you're booking, there's a lot to think about. So when you're staying at Walt Disney World, your first, things that usually I'm looking at is either staying on or off property. We bought Disney Vacation Club points like 16 years ago, and we've bought more and more points as we've grown as a family. So we always stay on property. When you stay on property, there's 4 budget hotels. There's also a campground that some people don't know about in Disney World. There is 4 moderately priced resorts, and they're all good. And then there's 8 luxury resorts, and those are my favorite. And when you stay on DVC points, they're really not that expensive at all. They're pretty affordable. So that's something to definitely look into. My favorite Walt Disney World resort is Disney's Beach Club. I think it's a little bit of nostalgia because we've been going there forever, but it's also location. So it sits right in between Epcot and Hollywood Studios. There's walkways to both, which we use, and there's also boats that can take you to both, as well as the buses that they provide, all free of cost when you're a hotel guest or resort guest. And so I love that you can walk easily into both of those parks. I love the Beach Club's pool. They have a sand bottom pool. They have a shallow sand pool, water slides. They have a lot. They do these outdoor movies, which are on the sand right in front of the lake. I like looking across the boardwalk at night. It's really nice. So that's like my all-time favorite is Disney's Beach Club. But there's Disney's Animal Kingdom, which is kind of like far back and set off over by Animal Kingdom, the theme park. And so it's kind of set back a little bit different than everything else. But the Safari View on Animal Kingdom and the Safari View concierge level are like out of this world fantastic. You you get to step out on your balcony and see a giraffe or a zebra like right there, and it's a pretty incredible experience. So I would say that those are my two favorite would be Disney's Beach Club Villas, and then I love Animal Kingdom, although I will say that Animal Kingdom is a little bit further off, and I prefer to have a rental car when we stay over there, but they do have the transportation with the buses as well. If you do not choose to stay on site, so if you choose to go off site, there's a ton of resorts. One of my friends, another family travel blogger who does luxury travel, she swears that off property is the best. She's got a whole article which I linked in my newest blog post, which is Disney Cruise versus Disney World. And I linked her post because it's very interesting what she says about staying off property. So I would say, I'm not the best person to talk to about that because I haven't stayed off property, but definitely Lux Recess does, and she does it really well. So, go and check out her site as well, luxrecess.com. My site's globalmunchkins.com. So staying off-site or on property, you got to choose that. Then you have to choose which park passes you're going to do. You got to choose if you're going to do a dining plan or decide not to. And then you have to make your reservations. Now, this is key. Like, you have to be on top of this. When you are planning a Walt Disney World vacation, you get 180 days in advance to book your restaurants, okay? That means that you have to set an alarm on your phone, wake up so that you're on Florida time, and make sure that you book those dining reservations ASAP, because things like that Cinderella's Royal Table and Chef Mickey's and some of these California Grill, some of these restaurants just they're booked immediately. So you want to make sure that you do I always set it in my iCal on my phone so that I know okay, tomorrow it's 180 days in advance and I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to get online and book those reservations. Same thing with your fast passes. If you're a resort guest staying on site, you get 60 days ahead of time to book your fast passes. Otherwise, you get 30 days if you have a theme park ticket. So, it's really, really important that you pay attention to those dates when you're booking a Walt Disney World vacation. That 180 days in advance you can book your restaurants, and 60 days advance you can book fast passes if you're on property. Otherwise, it's 30 days if you have a park ticket. And so that's really, really, really important, and you have to be on top of it because it's a bummer to get online, and not have any reservations left. As far as the cruises go, planning and booking, you have to decide which ship you're going to go on. So Disney has 4 ships. They have the Magic and the Wonder, which are their older ships. Back in 2013, Magic was reimagined, so they kind of did a whole refurbishment. It has the new Aqua Dunk slide, that's what that one is, where it moves out under your feet, which is really awesome. And they also redid the Marvel's Avengers Academy thing is there, and they have the Pixie Hollow and Andy's room. They made it so that you can have adjoining rooms with connecting verandas, which is newer for the Magic. So, those are, like I said, older ships, smaller ships, but the Magic has been reimagined just in 2013, so it is pretty updated. And then you have the Dream and the Fantasy. The Dream and the Fantasy are much larger. I think they're 2 stories taller, more kind of in line with a lot of the other cruise ships you'll see, like Norwegian and Royal. There's more to do, there's more activities, and they've got awesome updated, kids clubs and stuff. I really like some of the restaurants on Dream and Fantasy as well. After you decide which ship you're going to do, you have to decide on your itinerary. Disney goes all over the place. So they have the Eastern and Western Caribbeans. We've done both. Both are fantastic. I personally prefer Western. They do the Bahamas, which is nice because you can do a shore excursion at Atlantis for the day. So if you haven't done Atlantis before, that's kind of a nice way to bundle it together. They do Canada and New England. The Baja and Mexican Riviera is fantastic for cruising with families. There's tons to do, cheap shore excursions there. They do a transatlantic, a Panama Canal, and a European cruise. Now, I am eyeballing and really want to do the Norwegian fjords. I have not had an opportunity to do that just yet. But we did do a European cruise with Norwegian. And I will say that cruising to Europe is a fantastic way to experience Europe with a family, because when you do Europe, usually hitting up multiple countries, and if you're staying 3 nights in Rome and you're 3 nights in France and you're 3 nights in London, it's exhausting to pack and unpack and to do all those train and rail rides in between the different countries. The cruise boat, it's like your hotel just moves along with you. So it's a really awesome way, I think, to see Europe, and I'm sure that Disney does a fantastic job. Like I said, that's one cruise I really, really want to be able to do, and hopefully soon, I want to do that Norway one. So those are the different areas they go, and that's one of the things you have to figure out. And then you want to do your port excursions. So Disney, just like all other cruise lines, you can book your excursions through Disney, and you have to when you're going to their private island, which is honestly like one of our favorite places in the world is Castaway Cay. Spelled Castaway Cay, but for whatever reason, it's Castaway Cay. So that private island's fantastic. We have so many, fun memories of being there, and you do have to book your excursions through Disney for that private island. However, we book tons of our excursions third party, and we save like almost half of the cost from booking with the cruise. So I do have a full article, I'll link it later, about why we book third party and about, who should book third party and what the risks are and that kind of stuff. But I am telling you, it's a great way to save money, and usually I've gotten better service booking third party than I have booking with any of the cruise lines, whether it's Disney, Norwegian, or Royal. So I do recommend booking third party, as long as you check into knowing when you have to be back on the boat so it doesn't leave without you, kind of a thing. But all those companies, they need those good reviews from you, and as long as you've done your research, the third parties are really great. Now we're getting to, okay, we talked about the differences. So the differences between Disney World and Disney Cruise is mainly in pace. It's mainly how much do you want to do and how much do you want to relax. Because, Disney World, you're going to be going, and Disney Cruise, you're going to be able to relax. We also talked about the difference in being that dining is either, packaged in or completely covered, as in the cruise. And so there's that to keep in mind. And then there's also the childcare, which for me is huge. We have 5 kids, so to be able to get a date with my husband while we're cruising, that's a phenomenal advantage to me as far as the cruise goes. But they're both really great destinations. And I think my kids, those are like 2 of their favorite things to do are Disney World and Disney Cruises. So I don't think you can go wrong. That said, you definitely want to save money regardless of which one you do. So saving money on the Disney Cruise and the Disney World, obviously a lot has to do with when you're going. So, if you want to steer clear of spring break, summer, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, because costs are going to go up, especially in the hotels. If you are planning on traveling to Florida during the summer, you got to watch out for July because it is wet. Like, you're going to be in ponchos. It's going to rain every day from like 2 to 4. So just keep that in mind. Like, check the weather, and then just know that obviously the times kids are out of school are going to be the busiest, and pricing is going to be the most. Same with your flights. We love doing Disney World in May and also September through October. September through October, I think, is when you can find the best deals for Walt Disney World. But when we compared side by side both our Disney World trips and our cruises, it actually ends up being pretty even. So I wouldn't say that like one, they are nice ears, aren't they, Harmony? They're cool. So I wouldn't say one is better than the other as far as, which is cheaper. I would say that you know what you're getting when you book the cruise, and with Walt Disney World, a lot of the costs can kind of sneak up on you, so you just got to be careful. There is a promotion that usually runs when the kids go back to school around September time with Disney World, where they throw in the dining package, and that's one of the best times to book if you can. So if you've got preschool kids, or you're able, like we are, to check our kids out on independent study and miss school and hit the parks September and October. Number one, the crowds are like dead. I remember, walking around the park in September, and number one, the weather in Florida is much nicer in September than it is in the middle of the summer. And then 2 is that the lines would be like 15 minutes for Splash Mountain, so it's a really great time to go. Plus, they usually throw in the dining at that time, so, you're only paying for your hotel and your park tickets, but they throw in the dining plan, and they throw in the standard one, so it's really awesome. The other way to save at Walt Disney World is by renting Disney Vacation Club points. So I'm a member, and I'm allowed to book for other people. So we actually sell quite a few of our points or rent them out to other people online throughout the year to help kind of offset our own other travel expenses. You can do that. I'll put the links in later in the comments, as well as there'll be a blog post up. But there's the DVC rental store and DVC request, and you can go and actually rent somebody's Vacation Club points. It's safe, it's fantastic. Renting the Disney Vacation Club points allows you to afford one of those deluxe resorts for a heck of a lot cheaper than you're going to pay out of pocket if you're just going online. And the villas, when you rent a villa, you are given, like, even the studio has a refrigerator, a microwave, a toaster, and like cutlery and stuff. So you're able to do like breakfast in, some of your snacks in. if you do a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 3-bedroom, your laundry facilities are inside your villa, which is phenomenal when you're packing because it saves you in baggage fees because you don't have to pack as much. And you're also able to you have your full kitchen, so you can cook, full dinners if you wanted to. One thing that we did on this last trip, which was, I think, really smart, is we used Amazon Fresh. I love Amazon Fresh. Like, you don't have to go to the grocery store when you're at home, and that's phenomenal. But they have it at Walt Disney World, so when you're on vacation, they will bring you your delicious food there too. So there's also a Target right outside of Disney World that's easy to get to. So definitely, if you rent those DVC points, it allows you to save money, not only on your room, but also because you can eat some of your meals, especially like breakfast and snacks, you can eat them in the room. Also, using a travel agent. This sounds, yes, I know Amazon Fresh is like the best thing ever. I really love it, Marcy. It's so true. The other thing is using a travel agent. I know people are really leery about using travel agents. They think it's going to end up costing them more, but there are like Disney certified like travel agents that are specializing in Disney, both in Disney World vacations, Disneyland vacations, whatever, and Disney cruises, and they can save you money. Not only can they save you money, but a lot of times if it's your first time going, they like plan your full vacation for you. They know about, what rides you should be getting fast passes for, they're pros. So use a travel agent, go check the prices. Don't be scared of travel agents. They can save you a ton of money. Also, like I said, staying off property, check Lex Recess, my friend lexrecess.com, to see what she says about staying off property. Then when we talk about buying your park tickets, when you're staying at Walt Disney World, you have to choose, how many days you want your tickets for. And if you want 1-day tickets, which is 1 park per day, or if you want hoppers where you can, hit Magic Kingdom in the morning and then go to like Epcot at night. Well, if you're trying to save money, the 1-day tickets are definitely cheaper. I prefer buying the hoppers because I enjoy going into one park, kind of going back to the resort, lounging at the pool, and then hitting up another park at night. But if you're just trying to save money, definitely buying the 1-day, 1 park, or not 1 day, buying multi-day, 1 park a day tickets is going to save you money. You also want to plan off days. So a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to Disney World for 7 days. We need 7 days of tickets. No, you don't, because, there's Disney Springs has a ton of stuff to do. So there's all the shops over there and really awesome restaurants, like the T-Rex restaurant's really cool. And they've got their Rainforest Cafe stuff, and there's like boats you can drive out in the lake over there, and also at right out front of Magic Kingdom. So there's stuff you can do that don't involve the parks. And the pools are phenomenal. So if you're going during like the summertime or anytime that it's warm in Florida, hitting up the pools for a day, it can cut your cost down pretty significantly, because you can buy, maybe you only need for a 7 or 8 day vacation, like 5 days of the parks. Honestly, it'll slow down that Walt Disney World vacation. It's a better pace. You'll be more relaxed, and there's a ton to do that I think a lot of people miss out on. Like the outdoor movies at Beach Club are fantastic. It's super fun. Letting the kids, do a pool night, and maybe hitting Disney Springs during the day. That's fun too. Even walking around and checking out the different resorts is fun. So definitely plan for some off days. Also, tap water is free all over the park. So they will give you a cup of ice water anywhere that they have fountain drinks, and that's at the resorts and at the park. So bring your refillable water bottles. We always do, and we save a ton by just not buying soda. Another thing is checking memberships. So like AAA, AARP, and military usually offer discounts, or occasionally offer discounts for theme park tickets for Disney World. And sometimes they have packages as well. So you want to check all your memberships to see if you qualify maybe for a discounted package that way. Also, Costco sometimes has discounted Disney gift cards, and so do Target. So I think I saw somewhere that people buy, they use their Target Visa to get the 5% off and end up getting 5% off their Disney gift cards. I don't go to that extreme, but I know Costco does have them, and they also have them for some of the restaurants like Rainforest. So that's a good way to save money as well. Also, all of the photographers around Disney, if you ask nicely for them to take a picture of your family with your camera or your phone, they'll do that. So you can get, the same pictures without having to buy the photo packages. Although with that said, the photo package, I can't think of what it's called right now. The Memory Maker, I think is what it's called. I totally am spacing out on the name. It's phenomenal. So if you can afford it, or if they throw it in, I know they've thrown it in lately, that photo package is pretty awesome. But if not, don't spend the money on the photo package. Just, ask for them nicely to take a picture with your own camera. And also, you don't need a rental car when you're staying in Disney World. I mean, maybe to get into Disney World if you're not doing a transfer, but you can also Uber there from the airport. And once you're there, transportation's covered. So Disney's got a fantastic bus system. I mean, you never wait more than like 15 minutes for a bus. They have the monorail, and they also have different boats in various locations that you can use. So you're going to be able to get everywhere you need to go. One thing I should have said when we talked about planning off days is if you do plan off days, make sure you don't have dining reservations in a park. Because if you have dinner in Epcot, you have to use a theme park ticket to get into Epcot to do that. So, just keep that in mind. I know those pro photos are really nice. It is true. Okay, so with a cruise, how to save on a cruise, right? Well, this is kind of funny because you either want to book early, like 12 to 18 months in advance, or if you're more flexible, you want to book late because you want to get those last minute deals. One of the best things that has saved us personally, like several $1,000s on a cruise, is booking the guaranteed space. So if you are flexible, the guaranteed space means you can pick what category. So like you can know that you're going to get a veranda, but you can't pick which cabin. You also can't be guaranteed that you're going to get side by side, like adjoining rooms. However, every time we've booked it, we've still gotten that. I think that when they offer that guaranteed space, the cruise ships aren't really that booked up, and maybe they have the extra space. But again, they can't guarantee that. So that's kind of the risk you run, but it can save you thousands of dollars. And I'll put an example in the post that I'm going to have linked later here today, so you can take a look at that. But I definitely recommend the guaranteed space for cruising. Like I said, I think it saves us several thousand per cruise, like when we do that. So definitely important. And then save on your transfers. When you Disney Cruise, I think charges $70 a person, round trip from the airport to the port. And if you Uber it, it's phenomenally cheaper. Even if you use another service, it runs, I think, like I was pricing it out yesterday, like around $200, but up to 7 people that they'll take. So, watch for fees like that. You don't always need to do the transfers. All right, so we talked about differences. So differences between Disney World and the cruise is definitely pace. Disney World is very fast paced. There's so much to do. It can be exhausting. Disney Cruise, there's less to do, more is structured, which is a little bit easier in planning, and childcare is provided, so mom and dad can actually relax and have a relaxing vacation. We talked about how you can save, so definitely try to go to Disney World either May or September, October, if you can, because there's usually some good promotions running. We talked about that back to school promotion I keep seeing Disney do sometime in the fall, where they offer the free dining plan. That's really great to take advantage of. Definitely rent those the DVC points. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. Email me, amberm@globalmunchkins.com. Ask me, because Disney Vacation Club is fantastic. You stay in a villa. It's super luxe. I mean, the villas are gorgeous. There's more space. It's just all around a better idea. So definitely renting DVC points is a way to save, and it's safe to do it. Using a travel agent for both Walt Disney World and Disney Cruises actually will save you money and usually get some perks thrown in. I know a lot of people are scared to use them, but they do save you money, so that's good, especially if you're a first timer, because they can help you, kind of guide you through the process. And staying off property is an option. We talked about that. We talked about how Lux Recess does a great job at saying and kind of giving her reasons why she stays off property. Make sure that you plan off days. You don't need 7 days of park tickets when you stay at Walt Disney World for 7 days. You probably only need about 4 or 5. There's free tap water throughout all of the parks and resorts, so bring your refillable water bottles and save on soda. And we talked about one of the best ways to save on a cruise is booking guaranteed space. So if you have any questions about any of those things, guys, please let me know. Leave them in the comments, or like I said, email me. Find me on, Facebook here. Leave comments for me. Instagram, I'm global_munchkins. Twitter, you can, I'm at Global Munchkins there too. Please, engage. Let me know what your questions are. I'd love to help you. That's the whole purpose of me, of talking to you guys and sharing with you guys, is to help you guys get out there and do these travels. Speaking of traveling, there are some fantastic deals going on right now. If you are booking a Walt Disney World vacation, there is a phenomenal deal from Los Angeles to Orlando for only $157 round trip right now on Frontier and Delta. I even checked spring break yesterday, and it was only $239. So that's a really great deal going on. And all of these deals I'm talking about, I'll link them in the comments below, as well as it'll be on a blog post later today. There's an awesome deal going on from San Francisco to Stockholm, so you can head to Sweden for $434 round trip. It's on Delta or Air France right now, but I am eyeballing that one because $434 to hop over to Stockholm, and from there you can move in throughout Europe, pretty easily. That's a phenomenal deal. And like I said, that's on Delta and Air France. Also out of San Francisco, you can go to London. I even checked, they have it over spring break and late summer. It's on United for only $550 round trip. There's also one that I would love to go on, but I just can't squeeze it in this year. It's either LAX or San Francisco. You fly for a week on Fiji Air, and you go to Fiji for a week, and then you go to Auckland for a week before returning home. There's dates from February to June, and it's only $794 round trip. That's really good that's like buy one, get one free practically on heading to Fiji or Auckland from LA or San Francisco. So that's another great deal. Two other deals you should be aware of is if you have an American Express Platinum card, we just realized this. When you book your airline with points on your American Express Platinum card, you get 50% of the points back. So we just did this with several flights, and it's been really awesome. You do have to choose one airline you're going to use it for the year, so you have to be careful which airline you choose. But you do also get a $200 credit, so you can use that towards your baggage fees and stuff like that for the year as well. So that Amex Platinum card is, we're finding it to be great as far as booking flights right now. And if you're flying out of LAX on one of those amazing deals, or anywhere out of LAX, you're going to want to hop on to Groupon, because they have a fantastic deal right now for Wally Park. So you get the valet service for only $11.50 a day. So that's another great deal. So I think that's it for today. We talked about how fun Disney World vacations can be, how you don't have to be a Disney fanatic and wear all this stuff, but the Disney parks are just fun to do with kids because everything's pretty much taken care of for you, and everybody there is family friendly, so it's just an easy trip to do. We talked about how to save. I would definitely recommend looking at Disney travel agents, but also just renting DVC points will save you a ton at the park. Booking guaranteed space on the cruise line can save you thousands. Watching what time of year you go and head to the park. So like I said, May is a great time, but September through October I think is where you're going to find the best deals. If you have any other questions, please just leave them in the comments. I would love to answer your questions about Disney travel or anywhere else that we've been. You can check out my website is www.globalmunchkins.com. Log on there, and you can find all sorts of places we've been. Please write to me at amberm@globalmunchkins.com, or hit me up on any of the social media and ask me your questions. I would love to help you be smart, save money, and travel more with your family. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining. If you're watching on replay, thank you. And let's keep in touch and meet back here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. Thank you guys.